All right, before we get to a Big 12 matchup between Kansas and Oklahoma, if you want to go to jimfeist.com, that the basketball in the lower left column, that's a link that goes directly to the site. You can get plays from Jim, Zach, Jeff, and all the guys. In addition, if you want to subscribe to Jim Feist's YouTube page, it's called Sports Betting. Just click on that link above us. You'll get free updates on ProLine and daily videos, free play videos, and all of that is free. All right, we got this Kansas-Oklahoma game going on Saturday. I guess we can call it the Battle of the Comeback Kids because these teams have been involved in quite a few games recently where there was comebacks either by them or the opponent. In fact, it happened in the first meeting between these teams. Kansas was a 5.5-point favorite at home, and they were up big time, 51-32 at the half, but Oklahoma made an incredible run of 21-3 to make it a game. In the end, Kansas won and covered 85-78 and went over the total of 133. Kansas shot 48%. Then you got the Oklahoma team, the last game against Iowa State. They're up by 20 points on the road, and then they got some players gave some bad things verbally to the Iowa State bench. And next thing you know, the Cyclones are fired up, came back and won the game. So Oklahoma off a crushing loss. And then Kansas, their last game on Tuesday to West Virginia, behind 40-26 at the half to what I think is a mediocre West Virginia squad. But then they came roaring back, won the game in overtime, 76-69. Did not cover those, a 9-point favorite, going over the total of 140. What saved them was free throws, 34 of 43 from the line, and Kansas was an amazing 0 of 15 from long range. They've been covering numbers despite going 0-2 the last two games. They're 29-17-2 against the spread in Big 12 play. So, Jeff, what do you make of this unusual Kansas team?
Well, the whole league, I think, you used the word mediocre. That's how I described the whole Big 12. Zach was right about that last week. Coming into the season, everybody thought Big 12 was going to be the toughest basketball conference. I think it's one of the most overrated conferences. When you look at the way these teams play, just like you described Kansas, Oklahoma, they get big leads, they blow them. They get behind, then they come back at the end and win but don't cover. Kansas is a great example. 0-5 against the spread last 5 games. They were very fortunate to beat West Virginia in overtime at home. They were behind most of the game against Texas, which is a pretty bad team right now, and they managed to eke out a win there without covering. They have major breakdowns this season against TCU and Oklahoma State, and they're leading, they're in first place now in the Big 12. So I'm just not high in the Big 12 conference right now. Oklahoma, first game, Kansas won 85-78, covering as a 5.5-point favorite. Oklahoma's also 0-5 against the spread last 5 games, the 3-2 straight up. Buddy Hield's their leading scorer, 17.3 per game. Oklahoma 20-9, 14-13 against the spread. They shoot 44% from the field, hold opponents to 38.4. They're 13-1 straight up at home, so they will be a small favorite here in this game. But I'm not taking Kansas the rest of the season. I think I've been burned by it so many times. So if I had to take anybody this game, John, it's going to be Oklahoma.
Okay, well, Oklahoma playing well the last 10 games, an 8-2 run. However, that last game was not one of them. Monday, they were up big, 20 points on Iowa State, and it was only a 5 or 6 point betting line, so bettors got burned by that collapse too. 77-70 that Iowa State won the game. They were up 37-18 at the half. In the end, they shot under 36% as a team, and they allowed 48%, so a poor defensive effort. They were up by 20 when Isaiah Cousins decided to yell at the bench of Iowa State and fire them up. So, Zach, you think Lon Kruger's going to have a few words with Cousins this week?
Well, in the heat of the moment, that type of thing's going to happen. I think he's more angry about the team not. He called timeout several different times in that game to try to stave off the run, and they just melted down defensively. I think Fran Fraschilla was saying all of a sudden Fred Hoiberg threw up the game plan because their system, the Big 12, has been doing a good job against Iowa State system, but Fred Hoiberg threw away the game plan and said, looks like we're going to play street ball out there, and that's what they did. They just went one-on-one, and Oklahoma couldn't stop them. But the Big 12, like Jeff said, I've been down on it pretty much all season. I can't even remember the last time I gave out a Big 12 play, but when I see them play, it's just so erratic. It's like it's just so up in the air. You have a lead, you lose the lead, you're back in the number. And Brent Musburger was referencing the number in that one on Monday night. But Kansas has the superior talent to run away with this conference, but they just don't do it. So you have to wonder when the light switch is going to turn on for them. Is it going to happen now? Is it going to happen in Sweet 16? Sometimes you see these type of teams all of a sudden turn it on because they realize what point of the season it is. Maybe that happened to them. Maybe we saw the reversal with West Virginia and Kansas. West Virginia had the big lead, blew it. Oklahoma had the big lead and blew it. So Kansas made the comeback, and Oklahoma gave up the big lead. So maybe that's the reversal we need to be looking at here. But as far as game ATS, Saturday is just too big of a board for me to go ahead and look at the Big 12. I think the American, Big East, ACC, and a couple other conferences are higher on my board for ATS value.
So when March play rolls around, you thinking that some of these Big 12 teams are going to be overrated and overvalued in tournament play and might be a good go against?
It's all about matchups, but when you have this amount of teams that are probably going to get in the tournament, I would say so. If there was 2 to 3 teams like the Pac-12 or SEC that hold their merit and hold their value, then I wouldn't say that. But when you're getting 7 to 8 teams getting into the tournament from one conference that's overrated as this, I would say, yeah, it's a little bit overrated. I'd say after the first weekend, you probably have 2 to 3 teams left.
Okay, well, I'll look at an offensive game in this Big 12 matchup because both teams have multiple offensive options. One guarantee I'll make on the game is that Kansas is not going to go 0 for 15 from long range again like they did the last game. Kansas on Saturday is 14-6-1 over the total in Big 12 plays. A modest 4-3-1 over the total up-tempo games. And then Oklahoma likes that style. On Saturday, they're 28-1 over the total. Oklahoma 5-3 over the total at home. After a spread loss, good offensive bounce-back team, 7-4 over the total. And then that first meeting between these teams, total of 138, went over the total by 24 points. I'm going to look at a high-scoring game on Saturday between Kansas and Oklahoma.